Hello everyone and welcome to Nana's Tiny Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing some awesome, warm, stick to your ribs minestrone soup. This is a classic recipe. I threw in a couple of my own little twists to make it, I don't know, to my taste. But this is one of those soups where you can basically just throw the kitchen sink in vegetables. There is no written rules except for your base. So here I have my soup pot heating up. I'm going to drizzle it with some olive oil. And over here on my cutting board, I have onions, celery, carrots, and garlic. This is going to be our starter. This is the basis for just about every soup in the entire world. This is what you do. And you notice I cut up a couple of celery stalks, but I actually cut up the leaves too. The leaves have nice flavor, and I like them in the soup. I was going to say sauce. Okay, I'm going to throw my onions in there. Everything in the pot. Over here, over here, over here, over here. Everybody in. And this is going to saute until it gets translucent. And in between, I'm going to grate in some garlic. Let me get my spurtle. Spurtle. I love this thing. You can already smell the wonderful flavors of the base. And this recipe, you have to use, well, you could use vegetable stock or chicken stock, but you have to cut it with some beef stock. That gives it a nice, rich flavor. If you use straight up chicken stock or vegetable stock, you're not going to get that nice, rich flavor. I had cut up some zucchini here. I have a couple of little tomatoes that I'm going to throw in here, some tomato paste. Let's see, what else? Wait a minute, that's sage. No, I don't want sage, I want thyme. Salt, pepper. I love this recipe because it is one of those where you can basically throw the kitchen sink in. The beans, you can use kidney beans, red kidney beans. I'm using straight up the white cannelloni beans. You can buy Goya, Hanover, or whatever ones you want. You can do the dry ones, soak them overnight. But then when you add them to your soup, you're adding to the time that it needs to be cooked, which instead of an hour, it's going to be a few hours to make sure that those beans are nice and tender. If you're using fresh beans. I have my Cannellini pasta that I'm going to add when the soup is done, but I'm not going to put it in the soup. I'm going to cook the pasta separately. The reason you do that is because you don't want that pasta soaking in the liquid, because it expands and it just loses its texture, and it doesn't taste good to me. I like to cook the pasta ahead of time. When I'm ready to serve, I put a little bit of pasta on the bottom of the bowl, spoon in my soup, mix it together. Beautiful. It's perfect. Okay, I'm going to add a little salt to this. And salt and pepper are to taste. Here I go. I'm going to grate in my garlic. I got a bunch of herbs behind this pot as well. Got some rosemary, I got some basil, and I got some parsley. This is a nice big clove of garlic. Just go for it. I like garlic in everything. Oh, delicious. When this starts to become translucent, then you can throw your zucchini in, which is basically, I just bought a small zucchini, I peeled it and chopped it up. Zucchini, there you go, right in there. Everybody in. Let me just grab my thyme out of my thing here. Thyme is one of those things that has a very earthy flavor to it. I like to use a little bit, not a lot in this. I'm going to add my pepper. I made this soup the other day. I should have wrote down the recipe because it came out really good. But we'll try to wing it. I'm going to add probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. Maybe a little bit less. Like I said, I don't like a lot of thyme in this. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it does give it a nice flavor. And here's my basil that I grow in my garden. And it looks like this because I store it in the freezer. I'm going to take a couple of pieces of this. That also gives it a nice flavor. One thing I love about this soup is it's got so much flavor. Toss this around a little. Throw in my tomatoes. These, I took a couple of cherry tomatoes and diced them up. If you go to the supermarket and you pick up a nice vine tomato or the little Campari ones, the ones that come in the plastic container, just take one and chop it up and throw it right in there. I have also some green beans. They were frozen green beans. I'm going to add them as well. You could chop up tiny potatoes if you wanted to in this, and it's really good. I'm going to make a little hole in the middle and squeeze some tomato paste. It's going to be about 2 tablespoons. Buy your paste in a tube because it's so much easier to store. You don't have to worry about covering the can or transferring it to anything else. Just put the cover on it and stick it back in the fridge. Give it a nice stir. When I get all my ingredients in the pot, like I said, it's going to cook for about an hour. And I got some rosemary here. It's something else I grow in my garden. At the end of the season, I just pick it and stick it in the freezer, so I always have it. Just a couple of pieces, not too much. If you were using the shaker of the rosemary, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon. Just put it in your hand first and wake it up a little bit, and you sprinkle it in. Ooh, I know what else I want. I want to grab my oregano. That's something else. Excuse me for being off camera, but I need to bring this over here so I can, and put my glasses on because I can't see anything. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's cilantro. There you go. Little bit of oregano. 1/4 teaspoon. Wake it up. Put it right in there. Oh, delicioso. Okay, now I'm going to start adding my stock. Now you want about 4 cups total in this. So I'm going to put about a cup of beef stock. And the rest I'm going to do chicken stock. This is homemade chicken stock. When I make a chicken, I take the whole carcass and I throw it in a pot, and I let it go for hours. Now this is a 16-ounce jar. Add the rest of this. I'm going to hit it with a little fresh parsley if I can find it. Something else I store in my freezer. Nice. Okay. And now my green beans are going in. Add as little or as much as you want. And I'm going to hit a little salt. Then I'm going to give it a taste to make sure that it's the right amount of salt for me. A little bit more. Now keep in mind that your stocks are already going to have salt in it unless you buy the unsalted version. Pepper. I like a good amount of pepper. And for mine, I'm going to add a little heat to it and throw in a little bit of cayenne. You don't have to, you can leave it out. I just like a little bit of a bite to it. I mean, if you watched any of my other videos, have we met? If not, it's the obsession of the red pepper flake. Now it's the cayenne. Let's see. Oh, that's delicious. So I'm going to put a cover on this. I'm not going to add my beans just yet. I'm going to put a cover on this, have this go on low, and cook it for about a half an hour. Set my timer for 30 minutes. And just let it simmer nice and slow. In the meantime, when it gets close, I'm going to start boiling up my pasta, and then we'll put it all together. Okay? Okay. Okay, everyone. Half an hour is up. I've already cooked my pasta, and I want to cook my pasta a little on the al dente because remember, it's going into a hot soup. So you don't want it to be mushy. So keep it al dente. I use the Cannellini, but you can certainly use either shells or, I mean, any kind of pasta you like. I put a little bit of butter in it. You can put a little olive oil. This way it doesn't stick together. So I'm going to put this aside, and now I'm going to add my cannellini beans. And this is going to go for another half an hour. You know when it's cooked because your zucchini gets translucent. Your tomatoes will break down. Just want to give it a little taste. Wow, that's delicious. Okay, remember beef stock is really important in this recipe, but if you wanted to totally do it vegetarian, you could do it with a vegetable stock. It's just not going to taste like this. It's going to be good, but it's not going to taste like this. So we'll come back when we're ready to serve it up. All right, we're ready to put it together. Soup is looking fabulous. Now this is how we're going to serve it up. I'm going to take a little bit of the pasta. I'm going to put it down in my dish. A little or as much as you want. I like a lot. And the soup, the zucchini's nice and translucent. You got all your flavors in there. This is delicious. Good. Stick to your ribs, home cooked, excellent vegetables, very, very healthy. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Delicious. Let me see if I could grab some of those tomatoes. The tomatoes should have fallen apart by now. Beautiful. Now, you know we can't do without this. And a little bit of cheese on the top, but yes. Oh, tell me you love me. Fantastic. Let me get a soup spoon, because we're going to do this right. And if you wanted to have some nice crispy artisan bread, some focaccia, or even a croissant on the side to dip, because Italians, we dip everything. Let's give this a taste. Wow. Okay, everyone, this is delicious. Beautiful, great for the cool weather that we're having. Right now, it's winter wonderland where I live. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of sick of it. But, and I have been surfing travel sites, just so you know. I'm going to put all the list of ingredients in my description of the video. If you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to leave me something in the comments. Try this. I hope you love it. I'm really, really happy that I've been inspiring my friends and my family who've been watching the video, and people that I don't even know who've been commenting and saying, hey, I watched your video and now I'm going to get in my kitchen, and I haven't cooked for a long time, but you make me want to get back into my kitchen. I love it. Homemade, home-cooked food. This is not the canned Progresso, Campbell's, blah, 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 whatever. This is home-cooked deliciousness. Stick to your ribs deliciousness. So please, everyone, like and share my videos. Please subscribe. Share them with your friends. Until next time. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be doing something a little bit crazy, so look for it. I don't know how many of you people have tried Franks and beans as a kid, but I came up with a really strange idea, and it actually turned out fantastic. And I'll give you background on that when I do the next video, but watch for it. Not your mama's Franks and beans. It's probably going to be called somewhere around there. Okay, guys, till next time. Ciao. Manja.